Hi, my name is Elise. I'm from Portugal and I'm one of the EU influencers. And today I'm going to talk about inclusion, what it actually is, and why it's so important to talk about it and include everyone for the European Union and our goals and how to reach that. So, first of all, inclusion, it's literally what the word says, including everyone. And everyone means literally any kind of person, doesn't matter religion, nationality, anything. Just because you were born, you should have the right to have the same access to the same sources that anyone else have. I would like to start talking about the rural and the countrysides of the nations and the marginalized people. These people usually doesn't have access to education, to basic needs. Like a person that lives on the countryside usually needs to work really far away from the homes. They don't have time to worry about elections. They don't have time to worry about checking the news, checking the politics situations. They are more worried about taking care of their own survival and the ones that they care about. So if we are not making sure that we get to that people, that we can include them, that we can teach them in a way that it's understandable for them, we are already excluding these targets. And as you know, everyone is important to make a change. Everyone should be included and seen as a unique human being who has rights to choose their own future. Then I can pass to the lack of political literacy, which touches the back point. We are not giving this education, not to that people, not to the people on the big cities even, because it's a hard topic to talk about, and the education that we have, it's not worried about really giving neutral information without trying to sell ideas already made. And that's a really important thing. It's giving literacy even to the students, to the people around, on the news, having workshops, debates, forums, getting a closer way of talking with the politicians and to really can understand what's happening, questioning about. So this literacy is really needed. So if we don't have that, if we don't have education, if we don't have knowledge about it, we cannot do any kind of choice. We cannot think why it's happening like that and not like this. What do we want? What do we need? Then the youth participation as well. It's something that we talk about a lot, and the EU influencers want to do something for that, for sure. And the youth participation is something really important because the youth people have different points of view of the reality. They can understand maybe in a new way and see what's happening on the small communities. The youth people are important to understand and help us to see from different point of views, to understand the small communities and what they need because they are closer for that. And the youth people are going to be the future for our politics. And we are going to change everything. We are already stepping forward in a lot of activistic and politic movements. And if not with the youth people having spots on the parliament, talking and being really heard and having the right to choose and to vote for the politics that are being made for youth people, it's impossible to have right politics for that. So the youth participation, it's also really important, even though for the elders or for the decision makers that already are there. Plus, for the youth people, it's really hard to catch them in the majority of the situations because the language that we use to talk about politics, it's not like something reachable for youth people or even for the marginalized people, because we use really technical words, really technical instruments to explain it or just to talk about it, because the explanation, it's not really there usually. It's just some information that is being given with technical words. The kind of language that we are using to expose and explain the information, it's really technical and it's not reachable for the youth people and the marginalized people. On the way, we should just adjust and start using more easy ways of giving the news and explaining what's happening in the world, especially on the European Union, if we want this participation and the close access to it. So if we want to use a specific term, maybe when we are sharing the information, what we can do is breaking it into small concepts that are understandable and relatable for the people that we are talking to, even though it's youth people, marginalized and minorities that doesn't have the same access as people in a privileged place. To anyone, we need to adjust because any individual has a way of learning and understanding. So this kind of language needs to be adjusted to each person that we want, or each target in the case, because we are trying to do it in a bigger level. So we need actually to include on that way as well. As we know, women have been marginalized and excluded from politics and any kind of decision making since the beginning of the societies. And the women in all world and all Europe were the last ones having the right to vote. That's why it's so important to have women faces in the parliaments, in the positions of decision making and really organizing the groups and the laws and everything, because this representation means a lot and will influence other women to go and vote and understand that politics are our spot as well. It's not just a man role anymore. Everyone should be included. As I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter the gender, it doesn't matter where you're from, your religion, anything. Anyone should be included, and women representation is something that really matters. Women should be represented and have these spots of highlighting because it's something that it's changing already. And as we were the last one having the right to vote, and we should have this representation because it will influence other women to participate, to learn more about politics and understand that this is our place as well, that we have a voice in it. Talking about representation, we see a really short representation for Black people, women, LGBT people, people with any kind of physical or mental needs. These people exist, these people are right out there, and they need representation as well. They need a voice to have a place and decide what kind of politics are being made for them. And people that are on a privileged place on these kind of spots of decision making should be listening for them and giving them actually the highlight and the spotlight to talk, tell them own needs and what they need to exchange, what's happening, what they need from the privileged people to help and work together, actually give them representation. On their way, having people representing on the parliaments, on the councils, everywhere will help as well to have the participation from that people that will feel, okay, we are being heard, we are being seen. Then with all of that, I think I can conclude basically about telling that the participation, it's something that it is on each of us. It's something that depends on each person, but especially about the decision makers and the big people that are out there that are making the politics for the people that already have the rights. If we keep giving more rights to the people who already have them, we are doing nothing. But if we represent the people that are being excluded and that are being marginalized, we will reach new ways of thinking, new kind of participation from the community. We will be thinking about everyone as one, and we will be more understanding, more empathic, and we will have a better Europe for sure for everyone who wants and have the right to be safe and right in their own homes, because Europe, either way, is our home for every state that is part of it.